Good day, learners! This video is a summary of your Science 9 Quarter 3 Module 2 lessons in a mind map form called Mind Mapping Video Assisted Instruction. And now, our topic is about climate. The difference between climate and weather is that climate is the general pattern of weather in a certain area over a long period of time. It takes hundreds, thousands, even millions of years to change. Different areas of the world have different climates, while weather is the condition of the atmosphere at a specific place and in a short period of time. It may last for hours or days. Factors affecting climate. Number 1, latitude. Is the specific north to south grid positions on Earth ranging from 0 degrees at the equator to 90 degrees at the poles. The Earth's axis is tilted about 23.5 degrees away from the perpendicular. Latitude is also the distance from the equator. As the latitude increases, the smaller the angle of the sun's rays strike the surface. Therefore, when the area is nearer to the equator, the air temperature is higher or warm. And when the place is farther from the equator, the air temperature is lower or cold. Number 2, altitude. Is the height of an area above sea level. The altitude of a place will affect the air temperature. As the altitude decreases, the air temperature increases. And as the altitude increases, the air temperature decreases. Therefore, places at high altitude like Baguio City and Tagaytay City have cooler climate. Another is the Mount Kilimanjaro near the equator, but its peak is covered by ice. Number 3, surrounding bodies of water. The climate of the place is influenced by the surrounding bodies of water. The places that are near the oceans have moderate climate, as the bodies of water regulates the temperature. The soil absorbs and releases heat faster than water. The water absorbs and releases heat slowly. That can affect climate, such as in British Isles, which experiences average maximum temperature of 17 degrees Celsius and an average minimum temperature of 0 degrees Celsius. On the other hand, places that are far from the bodies of water have extreme climates. Example is in Moscow, that has an average maximum temperature of 21 degrees Celsius and very cold winter with an average of -8 degrees Celsius. Number 4, topography. One of the topographic features of an area is mountain. Mountain areas greatly affect the amount of precipitation or rainfall in a certain region. The area in which the wind blows is called the windward side, which has a low temperature. Here, the wind is blocked by the mountain, forcing it to move upward. As it moves up, the water vapor condenses and form clouds. This will result in precipitation or rain on the windward side. The air moves down towards the opposite region called leeward side. On the other hand is the leeward side, where the cold air mass from the windward side starts to absorb the heat and becomes warm and dry because it has high temperature. There will be no cloud formation and therefore less precipitation. The dry region of this side is called rain shadow. Vegetation in this region includes desert plants and grassland. And Lastly, number 5. Ocean currents. There are different loops and gyres of surface currents around the world. Coriolis effect can cause current flows in clockwise direction in northern hemisphere and counterclockwise in southern hemisphere. Ocean currents affect the temperature of nearby land masses. Ocean currents that flows away from the equator carries warm water. Ocean currents that take along warm water to coastal areas make the climate warm. On the other hand, cold currents travel from the poles towards the equator, carry cold water. Ocean currents that bring along cold water inland make the climate cold. Let's now proceed to climate change. It is one of the most current worldwide issue. Greenhouse effect. Solar radiation warms the earth as its energy is absorbed by the atmosphere. In the atmosphere, there were greenhouse gases present. This includes water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbons, and nitrous oxide. Greenhouse gases prevent heat to escape from Earth, making Earth's temperature higher. Less of these greenhouse gases will mean lower temperature or so cold and uninhabitable to life. Because of human activities such as cutting of trees and Industrial Revolution, more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere will result to the increase of global temperature called global warming. Global warming can bring about rising of sea level, due to ice caps and glaciers melting. We may experience severe weather disturbances such as much stronger typhoons, and heavier rainfall. And most of all, it can cause extinction of some fauna and flora. Some parts of the world may experience El Niño or La Niña. El Niño is an abnormal and lengthy warming in the eastern part of the Pacific Ocean. Usually, it starts at the end of the year or during Christmas season. That's why it is termed as El Niño, which means Christ child. This natural phenomenon lasts for 9 months or 2 years and occurs at irregular intervals of 2 to 7 years. Effects. It will most likely to bring severe drought. It is believed that it causes stronger thunderstorm and massive storm. It also causes the decrease of population of some species. La Niña is the opposite climatic disturbance to El Niño. It may last 9 to 12 months, but in some cases it lasts for 2 years. This event is triggered by the cooling of the eastern part of the Pacific Ocean. That is why it is sometimes called as Cold Pacific. Effects. Areas that experienced severe drought, which caused by El Niño, may encounter above normal rainfall. But in some cases, areas that experience dry season will be drier than normal conditions. La Niña's effects are the opposite of El Niño. Some mitigation and adaptation for the climate change are: number 1, walking or using bicycle instead of riding a vehicle that can contribute to air pollution. Number 2, conserve energy by turning off lights when not in use. Number 3, drinking lots of water when out in the heat to prevent dehydration. Number 4, listening for heat alerts, flood and storm warning and advisories to be prepared. And number 5, planting trees or growing gardens to help reduce greenhouse gases. Thank you for watching.